Hello, it's Lynn from Lynn's Corner, where you get your motivational and inspirational tea. You know, I always tell you, I say it every video, that I'm not going to come on here unless I have something to say. I'm not going to be making videos just to be making videos. So, that means I have a message for you today. I always come on here when something resonates with me. I figure, you know what, it's going to resonate with somebody else too. So, there's a couple of things I want to talk about today. One thing I wanted to say was I appreciate those of you who have watched my video, next to the last video. I appreciate that. The one about keeping your mouth closed, shut your mouth. And I hope that since that video that some of you really are watching what you say, that you're not getting involved in conversations that you don't need to be involved in, that you're not saying things unnecessarily, and that you are basically minding your business. I hope that's what you're doing. But I come on here today to talk about a couple of things, but the first thing I want to talk about is the topic of being triggered. And I know you hear that a lot. I know you see that a lot. Like maybe if you are on social media and it's going to be, the content is going to be a little bit something that might get somebody upset. You see the phrase trigger warning. So basically, before you look at this, just know it's going to be some stuff. Okay? But I want to talk about the triggers in your own personal life. The triggers, the things that you have that get you hyped up, that get you upset. I witnessed something over the weekend. Saw two people arguing over something that each person got triggered. One person got triggered, let me say that, from something that someone said. And then that person then took it upon themselves to take it basically below the belt and trigger someone else with something that really, really bothered them and hurt them. This is what I want to say about triggers, and this is something that I'm noticing, and this is something that came to me that day when I saw this whole thing unfold, and that is, other people are not responsible for your triggers. If you know something triggers you, it's really not a matter of, oh, they better not say something because I'm going to go off, or oh, they better not say this because that's a trigger for me. That's a trigger for me. I'm going to lose it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. No. What we really are responsible for is to figure out at the root why something is a trigger. We need to figure out why it's a trigger. Why does that one thing or those couple of things that somebody may or may not do, why does that quote unquote trigger you to the point where you're going off? So you need to find out, because first of all, let me step back. Some of us may not even know what our triggers are. Everybody has some trigger points. And you might not even realize it, but when you find yourself going off, somebody says something that just, somebody can say something on the inside, you just immediately it just sets you off. That's a trigger. So first you need to identify your triggers. Secondly, you need to figure out why the trigger is a trigger. Why does this trigger me so much? And then the third thing you need to do is heal that aspect of the trigger. Right? If you don't like people yelling at you, if that's a trigger for you, you need to find out, why is that a trigger for me? Did I get yelled at in childhood and that bothered me? Was that something that just upsets my nervous system? I need to figure out why this thing is a trigger. And then what I need to do is work on healing that. So if I'm upset that someone is screaming at me, because I got screamed at in childhood. I need to heal that aspect of myself. I can't keep going around here 50, 60, 70 years old responding to something that I haven't healed from when I was 5. Right? Sounds simple, but it's not. Our triggers are not somebody else's responsibility. Our triggers are our own responsibility. And our triggers are there, really they're there to show us the areas that we need to heal from. Even if it's something that's like, horrendous. Let me say that. And we can all figure out some horrendous things that may have happened. If we are still being triggered by those things, we need to heal from those things. We need to get some professional help. Go to therapy. Do whatever it is you need to do. But you need to make sure that the triggers don't become somebody else's responsibility. I know you've seen that before. No, I'm just saying, that's one thing I don't tolerate, is that yelling and screaming and hollering. Why? Why is that? Fix it. Because when you allow yourself to be triggered, that is the point at which you are allowing other people to control you. We shouldn't be controlled by anybody. There should be no human being that can control us to the point where they say one word and we going off. They say one word and our whole day is messed up. We should not give anybody that energetic power. We just shouldn't. That shouldn't be happening. We should be in control of ourselves. Now let me tell you something. The reality of it is we do get triggered. The reality of it is we do get upset about things. My point is we need to work on those things when they happen, which is why it's important to keep a journal. Because at the end of that day, you get in your journal, you say, okay, so-and-so yelled at me today, and it really took me out. A couple of videos back, I realized when I was talking about abandonment and rejection and how that would just take me all the way out. That was a trigger for me. So what did I do? Once that morning when I had that epiphany, when I had that whole light bulb moment, that aha moment, that download, from that morning on, I have been working on that particular trigger. I've been working on it. It's our responsibility to work on it. It's not anyone else's responsibility to work on the things that trigger us. That's key. I don't know who needs to hear that. I don't know who that's a message for. But for real, walking around bragging about your triggers and I'm sorry, anybody disrespect me. Hey, I've seen it. I've seen it. I'm sorry, that's just who I am. That's just who I am. Somebody lied to me. That's it. And it's fine. That can be it. But we don't need to go down the whole rabbit hole for the day because somebody lied to you. People lie. There are liars out here. Okay? So that's one thing that I wanted to talk to you all about. And then the second thing I wanted to talk about is, I know I did a video talking about on the other side, there's peace on the other side. And basically saying there's peace on the other side of what hurt you. There's peace on the other side of healing the things that you are healing from. There's peace there. There's peace on the other side of abandonment. I want to add to that. We need to make sure that when people or things or jobs are taken out of our lives, or God, Spirit, the universe, remove certain things from us. Let's just say that. And under things, it could be anything. When those things are removed from us, we need to keep moving forward. We don't need to sit and ruminate over stuff. Just keep just being upset, just can't take it, can't get over it, can't move on. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because every single thing that happens is in divine order. Everything that happens is in divine order. Everything. I have a girlfriend. I have a girlfriend who says all the time, Tracy ain't nothing, or Tracy Lynn, ain't nothing out of order. Ain't nothing out of order. Nothing happens out of order. And that's the truth. Nothing happens out of order. And so, a lot of times when things are taken from us, and I don't mean like deaths or anything like that, but I'm talking about friendships, romantic relationships, jobs, positions even, things like that. When those things are taken, a lot of times, and I'm not saying you can't be upset about things, because that's fine. That's normal, that's human. But I am saying that once you get over the shock or the upset of the whole thing happening, you need to move on. And whatever you need to do to move on is what you need to do. My thing is journaling. Something I've been doing pretty much every day is going out in nature and walking in the morning. If you need therapy, find a therapist. But you only have one life. And if you sit and ruminate in things and decisions or things that the universe, God, source, orchestrates to happen in your life, you're wasting time. You're wasting precious time. Some people let that movie play. I know that used to be me. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one. But if something would happen, I would sit and that movie in my head would play over and over again. I wonder if I'd have said this, would it have been better? If I'd have acted this way, would that have been better? If I'd have done this, would things have been different? I wonder if and I used to do that. I'm telling you, sometimes I would do that for months. Playing that movie over and over again, just playing it. And it doesn't help anything. So when something is over, when there is a new season, because that's how we need to look at things. New season. When you have a new season in your life, the best thing to do is be grateful for it. Thank God for it. Thank the universe for it. Whatever your higher power. Be thankful for that thing. And then that's when you notice you'll be able to just walk right on into the new thing that you're supposed to be doing. Walk right on into the new relationship that you're supposed to have. Walk right on into the new job that you're supposed to have. Walk right on into the new friendship that you're supposed to have. Walk right on into the new house you're supposed to have. New car. Whatever it is. But you got to be thankful. And you got to be grateful, and you got to learn acceptance. Acceptance is very, very, very hard, whether people want to admit it or not. It's not easy. It's not easy. But if you are in a serious relationship with God, like when you really listen to God and you really, really, really hear that voice. I tell my oldest son all the time, listen, if you listen to spirit, you can't go wrong. You never go wrong when you hear that voice. And 9 times out of 10, when something is a little shaky, when something switches up, when you got to get a new job, when you got to get a new car, when you got to get a new house, you got to move, or new friends, or new partner, you heard something all along. You heard something. And that thing that you hear, that's what you need to go ahead on and function with on a daily basis. I'm telling you, saves you from a lot of heartache. Prepares you for things. Helps you get ready for the new thing that's coming. Okay? So we got to know how to move on from things. Just move on, accept first, and then move on, because like I said before, on the other side of that is peace. On the other side of that is something that you can't even imagine what's next. You can't even imagine what's next. But if you keep sitting and crying over what you had to leave, over what's behind you, you're not going to appreciate what's in front of you. So I just wanted to say that. So, number one, get those triggers together. Get to the root of the triggers. Heal those triggers by therapy, journaling, praying, meditation, whatever. Because your triggers are not anybody else's responsibility. It's all your responsibility. And the second thing I wanted to say, don't keep looking back. Accept what is and move on. You're going to be okay. You're going to be just fine. And what's ahead of you is usually always greater than what is behind you. All right. Have an awesome day. See you soon.